and welcome to Fox Valley in Focus. I'm your host, Barb Nadeau. Today we're going to talk with three gentlemen about totally separate ideas. First of all, we're going to talk with Kevin Davis. He's going to give us an update on events and the renovation at Messenger Library. Then we're going to talk with Chris Faber, who's going to give us news for summertime events with the North Aurora River District Alliance. And lastly, we're going to talk with Donovan Torres. Donovan is a young veteran with a new outreach to other veterans. And so we'll get started in just a moment.
Their support changed my life.
They were like family.
My voice is now heard.
A home for every animal.
My future is bright because they cared.
This is our home now.
Thank you to the 1,200 nonprofits that serve Cass and Clay counties every day.
Our first guest is Kevin Davis. He's the library administrator for the Messenger Library in North Aurora. Kevin, thanks for coming on our show.
Well, thanks for having me back, Barb.
Yeah, it's been about
a year. We were just talking about that.
And
so,
you were telling me just the other day, this is a historic year. This is a big anniversary for you.
It is, definitely. This is really beginning our 81st year as a public library in North Aurora, serving the community in North Aurora. Going back 1937 when Emmeline Messenger had founded the library and started out really with some WPA money, seed money, and some of her books and volunteer time in the library and stuff. So we've been through, 3 locations in those past 80 years, and definitely one of the things we're going to cap off with between our renovation project, which I think we're going to talk about in a few seconds, a few minutes here, was also on August 6th during North Aurora Days weekend. We have our 80th birthday party celebration. It'll be an open house type situation, roughly between 1:30 and 4. So we've got musical entertainment coming in for that. On that day, cake, obviously, some food. We've got our book sale going on, and it's third day that weekend for North Aurora Day. So, and a lot going on that Sunday. It'll be good, I think, not only for the community to celebrate the fact this is their place that they come to and meet with people and learn things and do things, but the fact too, I think for my staff, on the staff side, it's a big relief because we've completed really close to 5 years worth of design and work and construction work on the renovation project.
Well, it's interesting because I think people don't realize how much goes on in a library, but summertime is probably your busiest season, just because you have summer reading and other stuff like that. I may be wrong, though. You were showing me your schedule of events for the whole year, or it may be beyond my expectations. But it's interesting that you said that the library is in its third location. How long has it been where it currently is?
Currently the building was completed in 2003, so it's actually getting to be 15 years of age
but that's not very old.
It's
and then
not,
you had
no,
this huge renovation. So we want all the news.
News, okay.
It's done.
Well, let's start out first with our renovation project, which we really started. It was several phases over the past really fully 5 years that we've been working on this. I think the last big phase we just completed just 2 months ago, and that was our really what I call our west side of our building, and that really involved over 3/4 of the building, and that project there included adding 2 more meeting spaces for the community because we knew that was lacking. We found that out through surveys in the village and stuff. So we said,
so you thought you had the perfect design 15 years ago.
Right. And things evolve and change with libraries, and the way our library, as we call them, patrons or customers are using it have definitely changed really in the past 10 years. We're not the only library that's going through this, because I think every library director I talk to is either changing up their space to create more collaborative space for the public in which to meet in, meeting spaces. We still have some of our basic services we offer, which is, again, checking out books and materials and things, which is still one of our main focuses, but secondary is meeting spaces for community groups, for homeowners associations, and then also all of our programming we do in between our adult departments and our youth and teen departments at our library to provide activities and lifelong learning and literacy opportunities to keep literacy skills and stuff up. So,
of course, the best thing for people to do is actually go in and see the renovation.
Definitely.
But you were recently featured in a magazine.
We were. I I don't know if I should hold this up or not.
Well,
but,
that's okay.
but
This is the North Aurora?
This is Neighbors in North Aurora, which is a publication that really reviews a lot of activities and things going on in specifically in North Aurora. But ours was a featured cover story. Tim Sullivan did a great job working with myself and my staff to craft a great article and interviewing me and my staff about what happened for our renovation project. But the centerpiece is, the title of it is Messenger at 80, Looking to the Future, which we always do at public libraries. What's going to come the next 80 years, do I dare say that? But in that article, though, we feature some pictures of the renovation work that we've done the past almost really close to about a year to cap off our renovation project on that. And then the other things we do discuss is discussing our celebration really throughout the year and things of what we're doing at the library. So
tell us about the big party. You'll still have the book sale, but
we will. Some of the highlights, and forgive me if I'm going to my cheat sheet here, but mainly our book sale, which we always have around North Aurora Days, which is very popular. So we raise money for the library, for support library programs on that. But on our north lawn, we're going to have a tent set up. We're going to have a few chairs set up. People are welcome to bring their blankets, their lawn chairs. We'll have musical entertainment. I've got a children's performer who's called Super Stoli, who I've looked at some of her videos on the website. It's going to be really fun for the kids, and really all ages is what we're trying to craft this towards. And then Phil Passon, who plays the hammered dulcimer. So he has a lot of old-time American music he's going to play. But we also have Windy City Ice Cream Truck is going to pull up, and we're going to have ice cream for people on that day. Inside the library, we're going to have some small finger-type food. We're going to have a ribbon cutting to celebrate the fact we're done with 5 years, the board and I, and for the community to celebrate the fact as we had an Arity first year. So that's kind of all within that afternoon, between 1:30 and 4 on that day too. So that it'll be a fun, busy day. But we wanted to key it in with North Aurora Days activities that are going on. With why not do that during that weekend? And the staff was thinking that it'd be best to arrange things that weekend rather than try to cram it in between May, June, and July, where we're getting off the top of a renovation project too, as we're trying to snuggle in our new spaces and figure out how we're working in those new spaces.
Well, sure, and your staff's going to want to be part of the festivities for the whole weekend too. So
because
couple hours of work and just meeting and greeting
you got it
in a whole new way.
Definitely,
that's easy to do.
So that it'll be interesting that weekend. So yeah.
Before we went on the air today, you and I were talking a lot about adult services and youth services and some of the things that the renovation has done, and then also some of the demands of programming for those age groups.
Definitely.
And so I wanted to ask you a little bit about that.
Okay, sure. Well, we have two departments in the library, adult and then youth and teen services. So each of those staff in those two departments try to have programs and activities. I think the big challenge is we try to center a lot of our activity on the children and the youth of our community, the teens in particular, because we know that's kind of a challenging age group. They're busy with a lot of things, and trying to grab them into the library to do that is always a challenge, not only for our library, but I know I talk to a lot of other librarians. So we try to make kind of interesting, different activities to pull them in. In our newsletter, which is online, I can give you an idea of some of the things for teens we're trying to plan in particular on that. Let's see if I can find it in here.
Well, it's a nice newsletter that I saw, and you were telling me that you've got some really interesting things that I would never expect happening for kids in the library.
Right. And some of those we have a Quidditch party coming up on June 8th, which keys in with the Harry Potter craze that's still around there. We have teen trivia night, create a quote, which is painting and art workshop and things. We try to get also the parents and the kids involved, or grandparents as the case may be sometimes. We have some practical things this summer coming up for juniors in particular in high school going to take the ACT or SAT tests. We do practice tests on that. We hire somebody to come in to practice that. But we also have a lot of other different things for kids to do, including laser tag at the library. So my staff is we have a group that comes in that organizes and helps that. But this is pretty much, as my staff has told me, it's fire and dodge laser beams throughout the library. Now you say, oh my gosh, we're we're doing
Oh my
that, but
gosh.
it's using shelves and tables to cover you. So
You
it's going to
are
be kind of
doing some
interesting,
interesting things.
things on that.
And of
So,
course, your library is located on Oak Street, 113 Oak Street in North Aurora. It's a
Right.
messenger library, is also available online. You can get more information about all
Definitely.
this as
Yep.
well. And we'll be sure to be checking that out. And of course, the fact that you're open every day of the week.
we are. I think about a year ago, the board and I decided that the funding and the staffing was enough there, that we're open 7 days a week now, even during the summer, because we found the loudest outcry from the public was, why are you not open during the Sunday, during the summer? Because for a lot of the people in our community, and I'm sure others, that is the day when most people say, I've got a breathing space here. I want to go to the library. I want to take my kids, or I want,
Well,
I've
Kevin?
got space, and that's what we're trying to do. 68 hours a week and service to the public. So I'm
Thank
pretty
you.
proud of that fact too.
Thank you for
So,
sharing all that
you're
with
welcome.
us, and I want to come to the laser tag party. This
Yeah,
is
definitely. Bring your-
Kevin Davis from Messenger
Thanks.
Library, your
Thank you,
library
Barb.
administrator. We're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be back with more right after this.
Thanks.
Chris Faber joins us now. He's a member of the North Aurora River District Alliance. And Chris, thanks for coming on the show today. It's an interesting mix of ideas, developing the riverfront and then also just developing programs that are wonderful for the community.
Yeah, it's kind of a two-faceted thing that we work with. When the group first started, it was mainly focused on the development aspect and what can be done at the riverfront to get more people down there and to enhance it and things like that. And then as things started happening, everybody started talking. It became more of like, okay, we know what we need to build and what we want to do. And a lot of these projects are long-term, and there's a lot of grants involved. So it's 2-3 year projects of getting funding and things. It's like in the meantime, we have a nice facility. We like to add to it. We like to keep doing some stuff, but we have this great park here, and we need people to come to it and people just to recognize it. So we started talking more about programming and getting people down, different things we can do just to give people reasons to show up down there. And then, of course, fundraising becomes an aspect of everything too, because nothing's free. And the development, we look for grants, funds, and that kind of stuff, but we also do our various fundraising efforts to gain money that way too.
Well, what I think is interesting is that it attracts different people with different talents, different types of individuals with different talents and desires. And so you've got a really good mix of potential, I'm guessing, from your successes, that you've got a really good mix of people too.
We really do, and that's something that has benefited us is, I think more along the development lines and, what needs to be done and, kind of long-term projects, but we have other people who have come on board. We have some people who were members of the Mothers Club that also joined into NORDA, and, the Mothers Club's their focus is more on putting things on, doing great events and stuff. So they their brains work more in that way. So it worked well together as, these are people that are thinking about what we can do, physically, and these people are thinking about what we can do just to make it entertaining for people.
Now you've got a great plan for this summer with your concert series, and just the development of the concert series is kind of interesting, but I'm hoping that you give us a little bit of insight onto who we're going to
We'll do that.
and-
Yeah, we haven't actually announced any of the musical guests yet, but we'll go ahead and do that now. The concert series is going to continue. We've been doing it for a few years now. It's on the second Thursdays of the month in June, July, and August. So we're going to kick off June with John Till. He plays an acoustic style, kind of a one-man band thing. He's pretty entertaining. We'll do some effects and stuff like that. So he's going to kick it off first. That's June 8th. And then coming in July 13th, we have Scott Tipping. Scott was supposed to play for us last year and actually got rained out, so we brought him back this year. And he'll be with a full band, kind of rock and blues. Scott is one of the most talented musicians in the entire area around here, has played with Los Lobos and some of the big names, and just really does some great recording projects and stuff. So he's bringing a band with him. I don't know what we're calling. He's got a lot of guys he works with, so I don't actually have a name of the band yet. We're early on, but I'm just calling it Scott Tipping and Friends for the time being. And then August 10th, it's going to be something we haven't done before, a whole different look. Felix and Fingers, which is a dueling piano act. And so going to be a little bit different, and try that out and see how that goes. But I think a lot of people like to come out kind of a sing-along style, and you make requests and things like that. So that's going to happen on August 10th for us.
Okay. Now, you also said that you're going to do something special with North Aurora Days, is that right?
Yeah. So this is kind of changing hats. I'm involved with both projects, but North Aurora Days as well. There's a couple things. First of all, NORDA's involvement in North Aurora Days is the 5K, 10K that we've been doing for years now. And that takes place on the Saturday morning of North Aurora Days. That's the 5th of August, and that's going to be at Moose Heart, same way it always is. And you guys are usually out there taking video and recording stuff, but that's a good event. That's our biggest fundraiser of the year. So it's the only opportunity for most people to ever get on the campus at Moose Heart, which is absolutely gorgeous if you've never seen it. So it's worth going out there and checking it out. And there's a 1 mile fun run, and then a 5K and a 10K, and it's a good time. Everybody enjoys it, and you really get to have a nice run away from traffic on a really nice serene path around the campus.
Absolutely. Now, to register, how do we register for that?
That you can get to the website. You can go to the NORDA website, which is norda.org. That's NOARDA.org, or runfortheriverfront.com is also, that's the name of it, and so you can go that way. If you go to one site, it'll link you to the other, but we try to, or hit them both on Facebook. So
they're so fun, 5K or 10K. They're just so fun to do because you give your money to register and you end up with more than you bargained for.
Yeah,
you always walk away with a swag bag or some kind of giveaway.
Yeah, we try to
just the whole experience is
we try
good.
to do a good job with the swag bags. We have a really nice T-shirt that we've been using the same company for a few years now because everybody tells us how much they love it, and I like it. When I go out on a bike ride or something on the trail, I see the shirts here and there at the gym. So I know people keep using them. So we have a good T-shirt that everybody likes to get, and then I think we're going to have a reusable bag for people and some things like that. So yeah, we try to keep that swag bag up.
And then, how do those funds? You said that's your biggest fundraiser. How do those funds help NORDA? What kind of money are we talking, and what are you going to do with them? Are they dedicated in some way?
They're not specifically earmarked in advance. They go into the NORDA General Fund, and then they will be used for other projects. Some of the capital projects that we're looking at are $100,000 projects. So pulling in $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 from a fundraiser is just a little dent in that, but they go to other things.
But it's an important dent.
It is an important dent, and year after year that really adds up, and it helps with the bands. We have a good sponsor this year of our concerts. Riverfront Chrysler is our sponsor this year, so they are helping contribute to the cost of the bands for the concert series, because otherwise that's straight out of the general fund. And so the rest of that money goes to just help out with the other programming and things that we offer throughout the year. We didn't mention Water Wonders, which is our 125-foot interactive stream that's in Riverfront Park right next to Village Hall, and there's upkeep on that. We have to treat it, and we have to make sure it doesn't have too much algae growth and all that kind of stuff, and there's pumps and motors and things that could break. So some of the money goes into our annual fee to help keep that upgraded or maintained.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here to talk about all that and focus on just the wonderful things that NORDA is doing for your community. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
You had mentioned there's something new at North Aurora Days too that you're offering?
There is. The park that we do most of the NORDA events in, the Riverfront Park, which is 25 East State Street. It's right next to Village Hall in North Aurora. That park was owned by the Park District up until last year, and then the North Aurora, the village, actually took over that park because it's right on the Village Hall campus, so it's kind of made more sense to have that ownership there. We can mow it and maintain it and all that kind of stuff. And we're actually adding more Sunday festivities to North Aurora Days this year. So there will be music on Friday and Saturday down at the Clock Tower Plaza like there always has been. And then there's also going to be music on Sunday in the Riverfront Park. And I can actually give you a list of some band performers if you'd like to hear that as I go to my notes here. On Friday night down at the Clock Tower Plaza will be the School of Rock from Geneva to kick things off. And then a band called Big Sugar will be coming on second. And then the Breakfast Club, 80s style cover band, they're a lot of fun, and they'll be closing out Friday night. Saturday, Kicks off with a personal favorite of mine, Allie Morgan. Allie is a local girl from North Aurora. She's, I think, 13 years old. Just in the past few months got signed to a record label down in Nashville, actually moving down there to get her first album out. She released her first single a couple months ago. So Allie's going to kick things off for us on Saturday. Then a country band called Southern Side Up will be coming in after that. And then Friction, who has played with us before, another kind of 80s-focused cover band, will be playing Saturday night. And then Sunday in the Park, the new thing, starting at 2 o'clock, a band called Serendipity is going to kick things off for us, and then Seventh Heaven is going to come in. So it'll be an afternoon concert in the park. Seventh Heaven is a really popular band in the Chicago area. Everybody likes to catch them out. So you're just going to try something different and see if we can bring some people down to again, more people in the park. Everybody likes to see that.
This is fantastic, and of course you can find more information at NORDA, NOARDA.org, or also at North Aurora Days. If you just type that in, you'll get to NorthAuroraDays.com. Chris, thanks so much for coming. I'm so excited about this, and I can't wait to go, and you've got a great lineup, and it's wonderful to have you here.
Thanks.
So thank you. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more right after this.
Their support changed my life.
They were like family.
My voice is now heard.
A home for every animal.
My future is bright because they cared.
This is our home now.
Thank you to the 1,200 nonprofits that serve Cass and Clay counties every day.
And rounding out our show today is Donovan Torres. He's a veteran with a new initiative called Veterans Outreach for Kendall County. Thanks for being here, Donovan.
Absolutely.
Great to have you here. I want to hear more about this mission of the Veterans Outreach for Kendall County.
Okay, yeah. So Veterans Outreach kind of started because I came home and I just got out of the Army last year. So I came home and I didn't feel like there was anywhere I could really go. So I was like, there's got to be more people that feel that way, you know? A lot of these guys, they get out of the Army, they spend 4, maybe 8 years or more, and they build this brotherhood with people from all over the United States. And then they come home and it's gone, you know? So what do you do? So there's the American Legion, and then there's the VFWs, but a lot of them, they're really good. They're a really good source, but for younger guys, it's not the same.
Yeah, what is the difference between their older brothers and sisters and these younger guys? You know, mostly brothers, obviously. There's not that many women in the military when you look at the, older conflicts, but now, of course, you have men and women.
Yeah.
And they really are different ages, aren't they?
It's just it's really just different wars, completely different eras. And when we had World War II, Vietnam, there was the conflicts to save the United States, That's how everyone believed it, and that's just how it was. With Afghanistan and Iraq, we've been in this conflict so long that guys are just almost numb to war, and it's just a completely different mindset.
We don't know where it's going to end, and we can't get any resolution.
So when these guys meet up with guys that have been through the same thing, that speak the same way, that have the same type of sense of humor, it's a lot easier, and the older generation doesn't really have that. So we have a lighter side of it, and it's harder for them to deal with it.
So are you trying to identify each other and actually connect? Are you planning events? Well, what are you doing with this?
So a lot of the things that we do with senior veterans is if they have a hard time with at their home, or they're not able to do things, then we'll actually go out to their homes and help them out if they're having a hard time.
So these servicemen are continuing to do service.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to bring a mission back to the members of Veterans Outreach. So not only do they get the brotherhood back, but we continue the mission and outreach in our communities.
Oh, that is wonderful. Oh my gosh, that is such a wonderful, I didn't realize that when we had talked earlier this week about this. I hadn't realized that there was, that you're taking that adrenaline and that momentum that has nowhere to go, and you're going to use it in a positive way.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. You also have a big event coming up.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you about this because it sounds like a whole lot of fun, and I want to know if I can come and who can come. So tell us all about it.
So what we're doing is going to be called Red, White, and Brew Fest, and it's just going to be a music festival type event with rock and country bands, so that the public they can totally come. But it's just going to be a tribute to our veterans and first responders. The veterans get in for free, first responders get in for free, and everything is there's gonna be bands, there's gonna be food vendors, we're gonna have veteran-owned businesses come out so that they can show what they have to offer, and it's just gonna be a great day. It's an all-day event.
Okay, all-day event. Where is it located?
The Kendall County Fairgrounds.
Okay, so that's on Route 71, south end of Yorkville.
Yeah.
And so you're just going to take over the fairgrounds for the entire day?
Yeah.
And you said free for first responders and veterans. So what about the rest of the public?
So it's going to be $10 just to general cost. And that covers the cost for all the veterans that we're getting in for free. And everything that we raise from this actually goes towards future events for that for veterans to not have any type of cost for anything.
Now, what kind of groups are you looking for to jump in and get involved?
Oh,
You
okay,
said
yeah.
vendors.
Yeah.
Tell
So,
me about that.
The biggest thing that we're trying to do is get sponsors, vendors, and bands. That's the biggest thing. But with vendors, we want food. We want we're working with a couple different brewing companies to have them have craft beer, and then with the bands, we just want to have tailored towards rock and country bands. As far as sponsors, we don't have everything we do. We raise ourselves, so we need sponsors to make this happen.
This is a big initiative.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But you've got your locale and you've got it started and things are going.
Yeah.
And so once you get there, it's just going to be an all-day music fest, and then food, and just wander the fairgrounds and just
have a good
great
time. Come enjoy yourself.
Okay, it sounds like a great time.
Oh yeah.
How do we learn more about the sponsorship opportunities, or if we have vendors who are interested? I'm guessing you're looking at food, but you're also maybe looking at, I don't know, people who sell things, have
absolutely.
businesses, any kind of thing like that, that they might have, you know.
Yeah, if anyone's interested in sponsorship opportunities, they can reach us at our email. It's veteransoutreachkc@gmail.com, and we'll send everything through there, or we respond to our Facebook messages the fastest. And it's if you just search Veterans Outreach for Kendall County on Facebook, it pops right up.
Okay, so we'll see pictures of some of the people who are involved in it, the progress of the event, et cetera.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have, if there's any veterans that want to get involved, we have meetings every other Saturday. And if they want to come hang out, just to, have a good, or just share a beer, share a story, just hang out and just have a good time, then we offer that as well.
So where are you meeting on Saturdays?
So we change it up. We have an event page on our Facebook, and we just go to Plano, Yorkville, and that just immediate area. But it's usually just the Brick House Lounge in Plano, and then we also go to Pinheads in Yorkville.
Okay, so you just get together, and it's interesting that you're going to have a meeting over a couple of beers.
Nah.
So you're not having a morning meeting.
No.
It's the whole idea, the whole focus of it is a lot more socialization and a lot more fun.
Absolutely.
And making that connection with these veterans.
Yeah, the last thing we want to do is have people go into a place and feel not welcome, or they feel like, I don't know if I should be here. The first thing we do if we have a new member, we buy them a beer, share what we're about, and share a story with them so they immediately feel comfortable.
So not your average committee meeting.
No.
This is going to be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so what's the response been for you?
Oh, it's been huge, actually. Like within a week, we posted about the Red, White, and Brew Fest about 2 weeks ago. And so far we've reached over 6,000 people. So it's crazy, the response we've gotten from there. But for Veterans Outreach being a relatively new group, a lot of people are actually welcoming change, and a lot of the older generation wants to help out, and we're actually getting involved with some of the VFWs. So they're a lot, for a group that you wouldn't think that's willing to change, they're actually opening their arms wide open.
So where we started this conversation a few minutes ago, saying that these older veterans, and they've been doing the same thing at the American Legion or the VFW for years and years, and then now, I mean, it's really making a difference because you're improving the communications and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times they want younger veterans to come in, but it's hard to do that. So maybe not have younger veterans immediately go to the American Legion or VFW, but if we can integrate it over time to have like two different causes working for the same goal, then that's all we can hope for.
Well, Donovan, it is so exciting to hear about what you're doing, and I'm thrilled to have this on my calendar, the Red, White, and Brew Fest, August 19th at the Kendall County Fairgrounds. Of course, as we said, that's on the south side of Yorkville, and it's a beautiful location.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's probably the prettiest fairgrounds I think I've ever been on. It's just gorgeous, and it's going to be a wonderful time. I'm so glad you came,
Yeah.
and you're on our show to tell us about this, and I wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, and that will do it for Fox Valley in Focus for today. I'm your host, Barb Nadeau, and thank you for being here.